Oh my goodness, guys. Thank you for participating in the Thank You True Talent podcast. I am back. This time, I'm very sorry, guys. Not very, I'm sorry because you guys have been waiting for new episodes, and I have a pretty loyal fan base, which I do appreciate. And everybody is like, yo, man, Talon was the next one. When's the motherfucking next one? I've noticed that you have been posting them, but I haven't been doing anything. Just remember, this is episode was we did the 10, 11. This is episode 12 of the Thank You True Talent podcast. This is July. This is June 20th, 2017, and it's funny, real funny on things how I have been trying to get my stuff off the ground. I've been listening to two really good podcasts. I listened to two podcasts about pro wrestling. And like I'm a big mark for Jim Cornette. Everybody's not a big Cornette fan. A lot of people think Cornette talks too much and doesn't know how to shut up. But there was a thing that Jim Cornette did with his wife, and his wife was talking about, can you if you was to make a new show, what would you do differently to get the show off the ground? And the first thing he said, what am I doing? He said, because I can make flippy floppy wrestling type show, or I can make a great amazing show. And she started naming a bunch of wrestlers, and his first thing said, yo, I love Ricochet. Ricochet's an amazing wrestler, but am I getting the flippy floppy Ricochet, or am I getting Ricochet who sit his ass down and do work like traditional wrestling? And it made me think, like, yo, if you ever came to my channel, the youtube.com/slash Chauncy Talon or twitch.com/slash Chauncy Talon, I'm flippy floppy. I don't really know what the fuck I'm doing. And I've been doing this for a very long time. Like, many people have seen my podcast, have me witness on different podcasts, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. It makes sense that I don't know what I'm doing, even though I have a game plan. And my game plan is to be the best damn thing out there. And my podcast is all about me. What the Thank You True Talent podcast is about my point of view, from my point of view, and I like to hear myself talk about my point of view. And that's one reason why I did the podcast continuously, like almost on an everyday basis until I got sick. And I'm sorry that I should have posted that I got sick, but that's on my behalf if I lose my fellowship, people who following me. So I understand why people might not want to listen because of that situation. But Jim Cornette have stated like, hey, some things need overhaul and some things don't, just like on the Lance Storm and Cyrus podcast, like they talk about TNA wrestling, where they brought up the OECW, where Cyrus brought up how OECW had only 6 wrestlers signed to the show and a bunch of guys that they can bring in and out, which 6 people where they can focus on merchandise and merchandise sales, where the top guy, these are the 6 top guys, 6 guys that's only signed to the company, where everybody else are workers for the company that want airtime. So these guys can have their matches and get over, but still the 6 top guys would not lose to these guys unless they're going to lose one of those guys to another company and they pick up one of those guys that they hired to be one of the new 6 top guys. That right there made me think that, hey, many of you guys have known me from fighting games, from the fighting games point of view, like Mr. Chips Ahoy fighting games, Pajama Pants fighting games, and then some of you guys know me from playing a bunch of video games. or having a huge video game collection and massive knowledge on video games. Some of you guys know me from talking about wrestling and boxing, where my wrestling, like, thought of like watching of wrestling matches is like really crazy. Where I'm a more traditional guy, where I remember watching WCW, a pay-per-view, and my homeboys was all geeked about the Rey Mysterio versus Juventud Guerrero match, and I'm like, yo, I wasn't geeked about Rey. I was more geeked about the tag team title match with Kurt Hennig and Barry Windham versus Dean Malenko and Chris Benoit, because that was a more traditional wrestling match, which I grew up on. Good old NWA, WCW, the Jim Crockett promotion, WWF, when they had the crazy promos in the background with the green screen. And some, I could ramble on about this. So many people who come to my channel knows me from one aspect. And some of you guys know me about how I love shoes, even though I don't buy shoes like I used to, but they know I love shoes. So it's like I'm all over the place. Like how, so when you come to my channel or trying to watch a video, you're not getting what you want, or you might get what you want, but you're not there for the rest. So my focus is I need to focus on one thing, water that plant. Like Tyler Perry said, I'm not a big fan of his material or his work, but he stated that he was making the plays, the media plays, over and over and over again. And he was only getting like 2 to 3 people. And many people was like, yo, you're an amazing writer. Why don't you write movies or do something else? Because you got mad talent. He said, if I nurture this pot, this seed, and water it, and constantly water it and feed it and give it sunlight, in the long run it will grow. Even though I fail over and over again, I will end up developing the plant that I want. And then I can have that plant spawn seeds, and the seeds can go into other pots instead of having 4 pots that can take care that I'm barely taking care of, where I can have 1 pot and they can just take care of it. So stating that, I need to focus on one thing. And if I can focus on that one thing, which I can't decide it right now, but I know it's not going to be shoes, even though I'm a shoe guy. I love shoes and fashion, but it has to be something with video games. And if I can break down video game wise, one thing I want to do is beat my video game collection. And I might sneak in a few fighting games during tournaments, but I'm going to have to focus on video games. I might talk about my wrestling and boxing here and there, and occasional sports because football season coming around. But I need to focus on video games. That's where many of you guys have known me from. That's where many of you guys have been drawn into my aspect of the video game industry and in culture. So, feel a lot better now. Let's talk about everything else. So, I don't know what to talk about after I got that off my chest. So, I'm going to have to do a big overhaul to my website, which I have not touched in so long, thatstrokelife.com. I also need to get my YouTube channel moving again, get everything. I just need to just move everything. Everything is have to move. I have to make a movement and work with that movement and stick with that movement, because things is not going to happen overnight. If things can work in within a 3-month period where I map out my whole program, then I can see things taking off. Yes. Alright. So, next thing, I'm trying to beat, well, my YouTube. See, I want to start streaming on Twitch, and I want to stream on Facebook. My PC isn't that strong right now. My PC is I need to upgrade my PC. And I want to beat my Nintendo collection. So my Nintendo collection is very nice. I'm gonna take a picture of it so you can see it, and you can follow. You can see it on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. And I'm sitting on, I'm gonna say almost 100 NES games, give or take. Some of them, I have a lot of doubles, but the reason why they're doubles, the doubles that I have are the old 3 screws and the 5 screws. That's the only reason why I have doubles. If I have any other doubles, those doubles are being sold. And Nintendo made quite a few 3 and 5 screws variations due to the 5 screws was made for security purposes. So that's the reason why I got the 5 screws. And some of the games are harder to find with 5 screws than the 3 screws. So right now, I wanted to beat my video game collection. That's something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. 52 game challenge, and my 52 game challenge will consist of beating my Nintendo collection. My first video game console outside of Atari, or the video game console that I really like. 52 game challenge is right here. And I have quite a few games that stand out. In one game, I want to start from the beginning. I don't want to start and I want to start in the middle. And I will need to make one rule I have with my challenge is that I can't beat games out of order. So I can't play Mega Man 3 before I play Mega Man 1. And if I don't own a game, I'm just going to skip over that game. And then I can come back to that game later. Even though I might, but if I have that game on a different console, we'll play it on that console. If you follow my drift. So my whole purpose is to beat my collection. And if here's a prime example. I have the Mega Man collection on GameCube. So I lack Mega Man. I have Mega Man 2 and 3 on NES. So for me to play Mega Man, I can play Mega Man 1 and beat Mega Man 1 on my GameCube. Then I can go back to the NES and play Mega Man 2 and Mega Man 3. But before I can play 5, I have to beat 4. If you catch my drift. I want to beat the game in sequence. So there's a chance, so games won't look out of order when I upload the videos to YouTube. If you kind of follow me on this one. I'm trying to beat every game without using any cheats or walkthroughs. If I use a walkthrough, I will put a hashtag on the video, on a playlist, where it will be a hashtag that said, indicate that I use some type of help. So, things happen. And I'm not going to lie. I have some fucking games that I fucking hate. Venture Island, that game's a fucking bitch. That shit is not kid friendly. I don't know how the fuck motherfuckers beat that game, because I can never find an extra man. And, piece of shit. So, I just wanted to do a quick podcast on getting everybody up to date on what I'm doing, trying to figure out my moves, and I really need to. Also, my softball team has been crushing it. Been playing softball. We got a softball league at my job. We're 2-0. First game we won. They had to finish the game off. We were supposed to play 7 innings. We only played 5 because of due to time. And it was 19-10 in our favor. Their best player got hit in the eye with the softball, and she leaked. So that was just great. No disrespect. I'm not trying to be like a dick about her being hurt. It's the fact that just changed the mood, because they was winning 8-7 before we went up the bat, and she was a phenomenal player. And I told everybody, this is the best team in the league. She went down, we end up winning. We was going to run the board up, because they lost the morale. When she went down, they was all worried and scared. They didn't know what to play. And then the next week they bodied a team. They bodied a team by I'm gonna say, was it 19-11 the next week. And our second game we won 34-8. They gave us a mercy rule at the 5th inning. Mercy rule. They called us out a few times, which was typically safe, but hey, shit happens. They didn't want us to run up the score. So And what's funny, everybody put them in the Cobra. They named the team the Cobras because I kept on saying, put them in the Cobra because of the Cobra clutch. And I have so many people doing the Cobra. But it's all good, guys. If you like what you listen to, the Thank You True Thailand podcast, make sure you guys please hit that like, subscribe, and send a friend request to all my social media. And I also like to give a big shout out to my homeboy, Pai Mei P. This man is one of the coolest guys, cooler than the other side of the pillow. This guy has been busting his ass making music. He also told me I can grab one dope thing, a beat off of his show, off of his channel. So I want to hear this beat. So he said I can use anything as long as I promote him. Remember, his name is PaiMeiP, it's PaiMeip.com. That's his website. Make sure you hit that bitch up. So he told me I can use any of these beats on my channel. So make sure you show some respect to my homeboy Pai Mei P. And this is the Thank You True Talent podcast. Remember, hashtag stroke life. Put them in the Cobra. For episode 12, June 20th, 2017. That's stroke life.